I'm Sophie Monono, a Cameroonian, of course, and working at the Ministry of External Relations in Cameroon. Diplomacy is my field, and I'm also engaged in youth activities, youth development and youth empowerment activities. So that's who I am. Very passionate about that, of course.
When you were a little girl in Cameroon, what was your passion? What is the thing that you really wanted to do in those times?
As a child, I had an icon, and the icon was my dad. I used to admire his work at the embassy, at the US Embassy in Cameroon. It's true, as a child, I didn't know much about what he was doing at the embassy, but I just loved the fact that, he was working with the US Embassy. And I told myself, one day I'm going to become like my dad. So growing up, I had to orientate myself towards what it takes to become someone who works in an embassy. That's how I found myself doing political science in the University of Buea, and later on did diplomacy at the International Relations Institute of Cameroon, where I graduated as a diplomat. So my career, my icon was my dad, and I followed through, and that's how I got my career choice.
That's very interesting. So, with me from the beginning, you have been the one that said the child that is born with a silver spoon, so to say, right?
Well, not silver spoon per se, but I don't complain because life was comfortable.
That's correct. That's correct. Of course, if your father is working at the embassy, and we know how Africa usually is, that is already an influential position, no? So imagine
Yeah.
yourself growing up with other kids now. Hey, of course, they're going to be giving you some preferential treatment, no?
No, not really, not really. My dad was very hard. I mean, he worked hard and he taught us how to do same. So even though he had the money he had, I mean, it wasn't given, it wasn't automatic that we had to live like, with from a silver spoon, but we had to also work hard.
All right, that's good. That's good. So he didn't spoil you.
Yeah,
He treated you well, no? Let's put it like that,
yeah,
correct?
yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let's look at the model United Nations. Tell me something about it. I think that is where we can start from. Now that we know a little bit about you.
Yes. Model United Nations. Actually, it's a concept or a program I discovered in 2016. I attended my very first MUN, as it's commonly called, in Italy in 2016. So when I came back from Italy, I was very, very challenged during my stay in Italy. So I told myself, hey, this is a good program for young people and students interested in international relations. So why not bring this to Cameroon and let other young people, know about this? Because I didn't know about that in Cameroon. So obviously, it wasn't known. So I told myself, hey, we could have this in Cameroon. That's how I got to some of my colleagues too, who are diplomats and who've also attended in other countries, London and Ghana. And we decided to have something in Cameroon. That was in 2017.
And how easy was it for you to sort of organize the people together and then launch this project there in Cameroon?
Okay, I remember in 2017, in February, I was in Addis in Ethiopia, and I got contacted by the Simon team in Kenya, Sub-Saharan International African Model United Nations. So I was contacted, and they asked me if I could host Simon in Cameroon because their concept was for Sub-Saharan Africa, so meaning that any country could host. And I told myself, I've never organized the moon, but I'll be interested to pick up the challenge, of course. So I came back to Cameroon and I got some of my friends. I explained the concept to them, and they too were interested. Being young people who are passionate about international relations, they told me, "Hey, let's do this." Even though we've never organized one, but who knows? We would learn in the process. So that's how I became the team president for MUN in Cameroon. And being the team president, I had to research a lot. I had to research a lot because this concept was new to every other person and people were looking up to me. So I couldn't just tell them, hey, I don't know what an MUN is, and what do we do? And no, I had to carry the responsibility of the leader, research a lot. I had to go through Google, YouTube, and all, the platforms out there, and gathered knowledge on how to organize an MUN. And that's how I led my other colleagues along. And we had the very first one in 2017 called Simon. Yeah.
All right, great. MUN, that is a word for it. That is a key word, no?
Yeah.
Model United Nations, correct?
Yeah.
That's it. Okay. So now somebody might even be wondering, what can be the primary objective of a project like this? What would you say?
Model United Nations, the primary objective is to give young people, okay, the platform to seek solutions for world problems, okay, and now through discussions, through negotiations and debates, just like it's done in the UN. So young people, they will not only look for solutions, but they will do it in the model, in the style of the UN. So it's actually giving them the platform to seek solutions for world issues.
Okay, but in Cameroon, the one that you organized in Cameroon, what was your primary mission that you wanted to achieve with the organization by making sure that this was hosted in Cameroon?
Okay, the primary objective, like I mentioned earlier, is I wanted to have Cameroonian young youths and students be open to this program, because first of all, when I attended it in Italy, I discovered it for my first time, and it was very interesting. I met students who were younger than I at the time, debating, negotiating and manifesting soft skills that most of the people I know do not have. So I told myself, I'm into diplomacy and international relations, yet I couldn't meet up with these young people. So this is something that the youths in Cameroon, and the students especially, they can benefit from if we introduce the program in schools and universities and among young leaders. So that was my prime, to see young people open up, discover how to model the UN and come up with solutions relevant to the society.
So how was the results? Okay, now you have, it's not like you are trying to do it, you have already done it. So now you can speak of what have been the result, no? So tell me about the result.
2017 we had the first edition, 2019 we had the second, and 2021 this year we had the third edition. Now the results are alarming. Positive, very, very positive. In the beginning, it was challenging, of course. 2017 being the very first edition, it was challenging. We had so many challenges that we couldn't imagine would come with organizing an MUN. But as time went on, we had to adjust. And the feedback we've had so far from students and those who've attended, it's so encouraging. That's why we continued, actually, because if not, we would have stopped. Since 2017 was the very first attempt. If it wasn't that good, maybe we wouldn't be here 2021 still organizing MUNs.
Thank you very much for that. Now, in terms of, say, promoting African culture, promoting African pride at the end of the day, because you said before that one of the reasons you decided to host the MUN in Cameroon after you have witnessed the one in Italy was to help young people to sort of develop ideas in this area, because you are from the background of international diplomacy. So looking at MUN from that perspective, do you think it is relevant in regard to promoting African integrity? Actually, how does it do it in a way that the children that participate, they can have, they can develop a strong passion and a strong passion for their own heritage as Africans?
Okay. First of all, just to mention that African culture is also exhibited through MUNs, because the first thing is that we open students, participants, to meeting other Africans. Okay, so we have other participants from Nigeria, from Togo, Tanzania, and all the other African countries that you know of. So now when they merge, we believe that when they merge with our own Cameroonian youths, the exchange, okay, that's also one of the soft skills that MUN brings. That's networking. So there is a possibility to network, to learn from other countries, other young people, what, the values they uphold in their countries. And just to add that in MUNs, there's a section for socials. It's called social events. During the social events, we promote the culture, okay? We have young people dress in their traditional ways. Some even do go as far as preparing traditional meals and displaying their culture. So that's a particularity of MUNs. We have the social events part, which is really, really culturally oriented.